Although the trio has been in fashion in the NBA for a few years, and in particular the LeBron James-Chris Bosh reunion at the Miami Heat, for a long time we were talking more about star duos. That being the case, in this video, we'll highlight the best NBA duos of all time. Make sure you stick with me to the end of the video. Without any further delay, let's get into it. Why is the duo necessary in the NBA games? To answer that question, I want to quickly ask you this. What would Batman be without Robin? One more supporting character in the NBA, the same thing happens. To win a championship, you need a team effort. This has been proven in the past seasons, especially when a complete team effort from the Dallas Mavericks managed to put away the three-man effort of the Miami Heat. But for now, let's forget about team efforts and focus on the two players that have made history with the amount of success that they have either brought amongst each other or to their team. A dynamic duo usually features at least one player that could score at a prolific rate, a defender, and a leader, all wrapped into two players that have managed to lead teams in the time that they have played together. This will always ensure that they maintain some sort of success, whether it was just a few postseason appearances or multiple titles. The duos we'll discuss in this video have found their way on this list for one reason or another by featuring success that occurred on account of those two players being together and willing their team to victories. I've said enough already, let's just dive into the duos in our list already. Coming first on our list, we have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, Chicago Bulls. When you already have the best player in history, you might imagine that it is easy to form an extraordinary duo. It is still necessary to find the ideal complement who will agree to shine in the shadow of His Majesty Jordan, and that's where Scottie Pippen comes in. We can say these two are well found. Alongside Jordan, incredible striker, ferocious defender, ultimate winner. Another superstar was needed, but speaking in a different register, and precisely Pippen's register is extreme versatility. Everything he does well. Attack, defense, rebound, pass, interceptions, counters. Whatever he does to win, he realizes it. By forming a duo, they both achieved 2 hat tricks in 1991, 1992, 1993, and in 1996, 97, 98, including the best regular season in history. That's in 95-96, at the time with 72 wins for 10 losses, which was later surpassed by the Warriors. The next best NBA duo in our list is that of Bob Cousy and Bill Russell, Boston Celtics. Quite simply, the winningest tandem in NBA history. While Bob Cousy proved to be the offensive strategist, Bill Russell held the role of mainstay of defense. Cousy created the art of slowing down an offense and running actual set plays, while Russell created the art of defense by deterring as many shots as possible while also playing solid individual defense. One of his greatest accomplishments would be the defense he consistently played on Wilt Chamberlain, which would seem to be the only formidable defense that Chamberlain would see. The two complemented each other wonderfully, and their duo gave rise to a dynasty. It was Russell's arrival at the Celtics in 1956 that allowed the Celtics to dominate the league for years. This duo doesn't always get the accolades they deserve due to how long it's been since they crushed the NBA. Next up in our list of the best NBA duo is Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, another leader and pivot duo. In the 80s in Los Angeles, it was the era of Showtime, led by flashy point guard Magic Johnson at the helm and performing feats that the game had never seen before, and silent pivot Kareem Abdul-Jabbar commanding the paint with his 7-foot 2-inch frame. The Lakers scrap against the Boston Celtics and managed to win 5 titles between 1980 and 1988. Now, I am forced to say that it's tough not to have great chemistry with your point guard when his name is Magic Johnson. Far from lacking in talent, James Worthy, Michael Cooper, Byron Scott, it was despite everything the Magic-Jabbar duo that held the keys to the success of the Californians. Next up, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant, Los Angeles Lakers. Far from being the two best friends in the world, the whimsical Shaquille O'Neal and the serious Kobe Bryant nevertheless walked the league during their time together. Made concrete by 3 consecutive titles in 2000, 2001, and 2002, this domination could not last forever, given the differences between the two men. In 2004, Shaq had to leave to seek a new title in Miami, while Kobe had to wait until 2009 and 2010 to sign a new double with the Lakers' new look. Our next duo is Larry Bird and Kevin McHale. McHale. Boston Celtics. Composing with pivot Robert Parrish, one of the most dominant front courts in history, Larry Bird and Kevin McHale led the Celtics to 5 appearances in the NBA Finals for 3 titles in 1981, 1984, and 1986. McHale was an almost unstoppable attacking player, especially in the paint, without neglecting the defense. Larry Bird, meanwhile, knew how to do everything, and above all, knew how to make his teammates better. This was one of the few duos that managed to limit the Los Angeles Lakers throughout the decade, as Bird and McHale showed off superb offensive skill sets that players could only dream of possessing today. The rivalry between Bird's Celtics and Magic's Lakers will be remembered as a great sporting moment of the 80s. Next is Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant, Golden State Warriors. When one of the best strikers of all time joins the dream team of his time, it is not surprising to hear a few teeth cringe. That's what Kevin did during and after the Golden State Warriors eliminated his OKC Thunder. He decided to join his executioners. Stephen Curry's team remained on a season record of 73 wins for 9 losses, but failed in the final against LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Thanks to this reinforcement adding to the reigning double MVP and best shooter in history, Stephen Curry, but also to the All-Stars Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala. The Warriors dominated the league and won the title 2 seasons immediately in 2017 and 2018. The third saw Durant injured in the finals and the Warriors lost to Toronto. Subsequently, Kevin Durant formed a new duo with Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn. Let's talk about the duo formed by LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, Miami Heat, in failure in Cleveland. When LeBron James left to join Dwayne Wade in Miami with Chris Bosh, it was for one purpose: to win his first NBA title. This was later achieved with 4 finals in a row and 2 titles in 2012 and 2013. Despite being the best player, LeBron needed Wade's winning culture to reach nirvana. Chris Bosh, in a shadow role, also brought in his indispensable stones to the building. But James and Wade were really the star duo of the franchise. Then we have Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, Detroit Pistons. Nicknamed the Bad Boys, the Detroit Pistons of the late 80s, early 90s long stood in the way of Jordan's Bulls in the playoffs, with Bill Laimbeer, Rick Mahorn, Dennis Rodman, Vinny Microwave Johnson, John Sally. We were indeed not dealing with children at heart. Thomas averaged better than 20 per in the first 2 seasons he played with Dumars, while Dumars averaged as much as 24 points per in the time he spent with Detroit, with both players spending the entirety of their careers with the club they both found success in. Nevertheless, it was the backcourt that pulled the whole team forward, led by the brilliant and underestimated point guard Isaiah Thomas and the discreet but effective shooting guard Joe Dumars. The Pistons were invited to the finals 3 times in a row, winning in 1989 and 1990, before finally giving up to Michael Jordan. The next duo that caught my interest is that of David Robinson and Tim Duncan. In San Antonio, there was a before and after David Robinson. Chosen number 1 in the draft in 1987, the Admiral took the Texas franchise from the rank of dunce to that of title contender in 1 season. He led the team in the playoffs each year, but it was necessary to wait for the arrival of Tim Duncan, who was also number 1 in the draft in 1997, to move to the next level. Thanks to their Twin Towers, the Spurs won their first title in 1999. Wrapping it up, we have John Stockton and Karl Malone. If Karl Malone is the second leading scorer in NBA history, he owes it in large part to his lifelong teammate, John Stockton. Between the leader, best passer in history, and the strong winger, second best scorer, could we dream of a more complementary duo? This duo would undoubtedly be cited higher in the rankings if they had succeeded in leading the Utah Jazz to the NBA title. Unfortunately, they fell on a bone named MJ when they were at the top of their game and lost 2 finals against the Bulls in 1997 and 1998. That concludes today's video. If you found the video helpful, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to share the video with your friends and family. See you next time.